Okay, I just want to show you where I'm at. We've had the remnants of 3 hurricanes come through here over the past month, and I've been doing a lot of work, so haven't had time to work on this much. I'm just now getting back at it. But I've got about 4 runs done, and it's looking pretty good. Everything seems to be pretty straight. Now, one thing to note, I am putting the ridge cap on as I build this roof, and that way, when it's all up there, I won't have to climb up this slick roof to try to put a ridge cap on. Okay, I want to show you what I put here. While I'm sliding this metal up on the roof, I put me a temporary brace that this is about 10 feet long, and what I use it for, I slide the metal up and it wants to slide off, and so I put this up and it's going to catch the metal as it tries to slide off, and then I can just adjust it and do whatever I want to the metal, move it where I want to without having to worry about it sliding back off on the ground. So as I build this roof, I will move this as needed, and it's going to help me keep that metal from sliding off this building before I can screw it in. Okay, so what I did here is I've already set this top piece of metal, and I wanted to get this one in place and get it in with one screw, so that then I can start putting all my screws in it. So basically what I'm doing is I've got this one overlapping it, but it's easier to put the top piece up first and then come back and do the bottom piece, because all I'm doing is sliding the bottom piece up under the top piece. I just want to show you, I do put my screws in the valley of this metal. Now, there's a huge argument because a lot of people want to put them on the rib. I'm not going to get into that argument. This is the recommended way. I've got another barn that I built about 14 or 15 years ago, and I have not had a single leak, and I did put those in the valley. I think the most important thing to do is to make sure that the rubber grommet on these screws is not compromised. So don't actually tighten it up so tight that the rubber grommet will actually fail you. So you want to put it in until you start seeing the rubber grommet flatten out, and then you want to stop. And there's one of my screws. You can see the rubber grommet is flattened some, but it's not flattened all the way out, so it's not compromised. It's not going to fail on me after just a few years. Okay, just to update on the barn. It's coming along pretty nicely. We are making progress. I've got probably about 10 or 12 more hours on the roof and should be done. Okay, now that I've got the roof on, I'm going to move to the gable ends and put the metal on those. So I got out my scaffold because this is really tall. That's about 25 feet in the air there. So I got my scaffold out, and I had to put some 2x4, for lack of a better term, nailers up just to make sure everything was equaled out. And so I've got my first piece in. So the way I cut this is I actually cut that to the pitch of the rafters up there. So I just cut me a spare piece of wood to the pitch that I used on the original rafters, and then just marked it out on the metal. And for the cutting the metal, I actually turned an old saw blade around on the saw and cut the metal. Now there's other ways you can do it. You can obviously buy blades for that, but that's just an old timer's trick, and it works very well. Here's how I'm cutting my metal. I actually cut me just a spare piece of wood to the actual pitch of my rafters, and then I will just line this up, mark it, and I'll know how to cut my metal. Okay, I'm about to move out to the outside part of the barn, and I've got my first nailer up. I've got to put some nailers down the rafter part to even that out, and we'll be putting up some metal. Okay, we have completed all the metal work to our barn. So we have the roof, we have the top cap, we've got the gable ends done, and we have all the trim done. So as you can see, this is the trim on the middle and both sides. Okay, what I'm doing here is I am filling the barn floor with 4 inches of gravel. Now I think this gravel size is like a 67, so it's not very big. It's really small gravel, but it does really well as a barn floor. This center portion of the barn will have our camper, which is a 37-foot camper, stored in it, and then on the sides we are going to put all of our tractor implements and equipment. So we hope you gained some useful knowledge on how to build a barn. In our barn series, you can check the videos. We took you through how to put the poles in the ground, how to frame the barn, and then what we did to actually get this metal on the barn. Thanks for watching.